Welcome once again, folks, to the hour of the time. This is the only hour that ever was or ever will be. This is the most important hour in your entire life. For during this hour, you will decide your future and thus our collective futures. I am your host, William Cooper. Yes, folks, the hour of the time is under attack. And me personally. It's not the first time, nor, I can assure you, will it be the last. But I must address this 4-page slimy document that drips, literally drips with lies and venom. Because there are too many innocent, unsuspecting people out there who may believe this. Normally my policy is to ignore this kind of thing. I have been attacked by loony bin, absolutely insane publications like UFO Magazine, which is ludicrous, laughable. That's easy to shrug off. I was attacked by MUFON in the MUFON Journal, where they printed a fraudulent, bogus letter supposedly written by some Air Force colonel to Philip Klass, a well-known UFO debunker. Why? Because I popped their bubble, folks. I've popped their bubble. I've revealed to the world that this whole UFO extraterrestrial thing is nothing more than a ploy to create an external enemy, which they can use to destroy the sovereignty of nations and unite the world in a one-world totalitarian socialist government. And this hurts them, because perpetrating these lies is how they make their money. I have nothing against people making money, but I have everything against deception. Well, that letter was proved to be fraudulent. When in contacting the United States Air Force, it was proven that no such colonel existed or ever did exist. But in that letter, it purported that I was kicked out of the United States Navy under less than honorable conditions. An absolute lie. My service record and my DD-214, my discharge papers, are published in the appendix of my book, folks. And I had very long and honorable service. I was honorably discharged. And during my military service, I earned many citations, awards, and medals for combat. And not only for combat, but for valor in combat. See, 2 of my medals have the V for valor awarded along with them. So, now we come to this. Whenever these people have attempted to meet me face-to-face in a debate or in a radio talk show, they have always slunk away with their tail between their legs, hanging their head in shame, because they never have their facts right, they're never prepared, and for some reason they seem to think that I'm going to show up the same way, and I never do. So they resort to these things. We know 3 things right off the bat about the person who wrote this, or the organization that wrote this. 1, they are miserable, abject cowards. Miserable, abject cowards because they do not identify themselves, they do not sign their name, they do not print the name or address of their organization. Only cowards do that. Only cowards send anonymous letters, especially when it drips with venom like this. And they know that should they be identified, they would quickly be hauled into court and raked over the coals, and that's exactly what's going to happen if we can find out who they are. So, right now, I'm going to offer a $100 reward for any information on the identity of the people or person who wrote this paper. 4 pages, entitled The Hour of the Crime, or Tricks, Lies, and Videotape. Plus a free membership to CAGI. All total, that's $145, folks. $145. Plus, for the person who can identify the writer of this, I will also throw in our new documentary on the Kennedy assassination that we are just now completing, that nobody's ever seen, that is talked about in this thing, that the author of this lie has never seen, therefore knows nothing about, but attempts to discredit it before it even comes out. That should tell you that they're really worried about this new documentary of mine. You see, folks, nobody goes to this kind of effort to discredit a radio show unless that radio show is damaging to their cause. We are hurting the International Socialist Movement with this radio show. We are hurting those who would destroy the Constitution, this nation, freedom, and freedom for the world. We are hurting them with the information that's broadcast on this radio show. We are hurting them by telling our listeners not to believe what they hear from anyone or what they read from any source unless they can validate it by their own research and their own efforts. You see, because they tend upon your blind obedience and blind belief. They depend upon it. And if they don't have it, they can't control you. They can't make you a puppet on the end of their string. So let's get into this. We're going to go through it. I'm going to read it. And we're going to dispense with this once and for all. Quote, on October 19, 1992, at 10 p.m. Pacific Time, the new worldwide shortwave broadcast of Bill Cooper's Hour of the Time debuted. The first sentence in this is a lie, folks. This show debuted on August the 30th, 1992, on WWCR. It debuted worldwide on satellite SpaceNet 2 Channel 7 7.5 audio on the 4th of May, 1992. So you can see the very first sentence of this tome is a lie. Those who have previously identified with the original Behold a Stale Horse document will be even more appalled to learn the following. Behold a Stale Horse was a document written by my stalker. You didn't know it, but I had my own personal stalker. He used to stalk me all around this country until he was reported to the police in Orlando, Florida, the state where he lives, and until we filed suit against him in federal district court in Atlanta, Georgia, and since then he has disappeared. He wrote about a 2-inch thick, absolutely insane ravings called Behold a Stale Horse, a parody of my book. See, my book has damaged them so bad they can't stand it. This person was raised in a cult called the Stell Group, or the Stell Society. The Stell is a stone found in Egypt that outlines the entire story of the Osiris cycle, or the legend of Osiris and Isis. They are part of the Great White Brotherhood, the mystery schools, the mystery religion of Babylon. And this person's name, who also claims that he went to El Salvador during the Civil War down there and was shot, wounded. We've done an extended investigation on that and found out he never in his life has been to El Salvador and has never been shot. We even have a copy of his medical record that shows what the real scar really is. His name, folks, Lars Hansen. Now to continue with this document. In his worldwide debut, Mr. Cooper not only beat his tired horse regarding the already exposed fraud perpetrated on the American people in the JFK assassination, but added to his list of culprits responsible were Time Life and Time Warner. Mr. Cooper claims that Time Life, Time Warner worked in league with the CIA to commit fraud by using computers to doctor up the original Zapruder film. Again, another lie. On the show on October 19th, folks, I said that we, not Time Life or Time Warner, me, and experts used computers to analyze the Zapruder film, from which we have obtained a first-generation 35mm copy. We used computers to analyze that film. During the analysis, we found that the film had been doctored in many areas, and I also made the comment that only a few people had access to that film, One, of course, was Abraham Zapruder. We don't believe he had anything to do with it. He didn't even have it long enough to do anything with it. The second one was the intelligence community in the National Photographic Laboratory in Washington, D.C., who could have very well doctored the film. And the third was Time Life, who purchased the film from Abraham Zapruder when it was returned to him by the intelligence community. And I said on that show that I didn't know who doctored the film, but whoever doctored it is an accomplice to the Kennedy assassination, because they've intentionally doctored the film to cover up what's on that film, and maybe to lead us to erroneous conclusions. I also stated in that broadcast that because of that, the film can never be used as evidence of any facts other than it proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that there was a conspiracy, and that whoever doctored the film was a part of the conspiracy, whether it be the intelligence community and the National Photographic Laboratory, Abraham Zapruder, or Time Life. That is the truth of what was said on the October 19th, 92 program. Now to continue. Although most researchers in this field on the West Coast are aware of the absolutely pathetic ramblings of Mr. Cooper, and that's during this 1 short hour broadcast entertainment, he may have managed to outdo even his previous endeavors. Well, that's not true. I know many researchers on the West Coast who agree with me 100% wholeheartedly. Some agree with part of the things that I believe, and some do not agree with others. Some don't agree with anything I say, but this miserable, cowardly group and this miserable, cowardly author pretends to speak for all of these people. And I can tell you again, he or she does not. To continue, during his show, which airs on WWCR Nashville, Tennessee, shortwave 7.435 on the shortwave dial, and thank you very much for advertising my show, because many more listeners will now read this and tune in to hear some of my pathetic ramblings, as you term them, and they will become steady listeners. Says Mr. Cooper again donned his snake oil salesman garb and no doubt sucked in even more of the gullible, non-informed individuals hungry for answers and willing to embrace his stale routine. Well, there, he's called you all stupid, and unfortunately many of you are, but normally not the regular listener to this show. They're usually free thinkers. They are usually leaders. They usually make up their own mind, and they usually do exactly what I tell them to do, and that is not to believe anything they hear or read from any source. Not me, not their mother, not the president, not anyone. My listeners are the ones who make things happen, not people who sit around and watch things happen. Unfortunately, he's right here. Most people are sheep. Most people are stupid, which means mentally crippled. And they're stupid because of 40 years of intense brainwashing through the television, the media, and Hollywood. He also goes on to say here, it is not surprising that Mr. Cooper's newsletter is titled C-A-J-I, pronounced KG. Again, that's another lie. Those of you who have been listening to this program, and those of you who have known me for years, ever since I started KG, know that KG is the correct pronunciation and not KG. KAGI, and it stands for the Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence, the largest and most successful civilian intelligence organization in the world, and I'm very proud that I am the one who set it up, started it, and to this day I administer it. I'm proud of all the people who are KAGI members for the information that they dug out and that we've been able to expose as a result of their efforts. They are truly, in my estimation, heroic and are worthy of great praise. Not the kind of slimy innuendo that comes from this miserable, abject, little racist, socialist coward, whoever wrote this. It goes on to say, with the growing dissatisfaction and decay of trust in our government, and the message on this show is you should not have decay of trust in our constitutionally established government, but you should have mistrust in those who have infiltrated and are trying to destroy our government, our nation, and our Constitution from within. We owe our allegiance to the Constitution and not to individuals. Period.